You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
CBC Online, talking with Terry Michler, got that 7th star, the 8th star for the school, and it's got to feel pretty good with this group of kids. You mentioned in the paper, day one was a bit of a disaster, but they rebounded.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every time you're fortunate enough to win one of these championships, it's special in its own way, but this is probably the most special because it had so many different factors that weren't present in any of the previous championships, So I don't think any team's come further than this team's come this year, nor had to overcome as many obstacles as this team did. And then at the end of the day, after you climb the big old hill to get to the top, then you get Chaminade, and you get the king of the hill. And then you got to have your A game. You got to have a good enough game to beat them on the last day of the year. And anything can happen in one game, and I think we played a pretty good last game, so we're very happy.
A couple interesting things happened over the weekend, though. You got 2 goals from a sophomore. Hadn't really seen a lot of time, but he came in and got the job done. And then the goal that put the game out of reach, Max Keeley again coming off the bench. So sometimes I think it's difficult to talk to players about being a role player, but those guys really stepped up. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, if you look back to our season was like, if it was a book, there'd be a lot of chapters in it because there was a lot of different elements to the season. But throughout the season, we were able to manage at different times to give everybody significant playing time. When we, in the beginning of the year, I looked at the schedule, and it was just backed up game after game after game, day after day after day. There'd be 3 to 4 games a week, and usually the game at the end of the week would probably be like we call the highlight game of the week, so to speak. But we had to get through 3 other games to get there. So I decided early on that, we're going to try and be fresh for those premier games, highlight games. So the midweek games, we're going to play everybody. So we kind of shifted, like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. So everybody was playing. Then the weekend game, we played the guys that we thought we needed to play to win, So that whole part of the season, it was a pretty significant part of the season. Everybody was playing, and we were winning, getting results, and against good teams, So everybody was in the groove, And then training's been good. I mean, these kids have all put out pretty much in practice, and they showed me, that they were always ready, And I told them, I said, this is a moment-to-moment team. I don't know from moment to moment what's going to have to happen, what decisions I'm going to make, going to be based on what I think I need at the time. So you just keep giving me reasons to consider you, And when the time comes and I call your number, get out there and enjoy it. Do what you can. And, Jake Marquardt, put him in the Vianney game in the second half. He had a feeling, and boom, popped up, did a great job, So credit to the kids. I mean, they kept themselves alive. They worked hard, They built a team. The most important thing of all was they built a team. The kids built a team.
And certainly Chaminade, I mean, they were the class of the field. I mean, that was the team you wanted. They deserved to be there. You got a great relationship with Vader, Mike Vane, so to be able to go up against him had to be pretty special for you.
Oh, yeah. It was a special moment for high school soccer because you had the 2 premier teams, with established traditions playing in the final game of the year. 2 class teams, and it was great. It was fantastic. Our goal at the beginning of the year was, because everybody started the year pretty much in the same boat, minus players, except Chaminade. So they started off, at the top of the pack. So I set a goal for the kids to be the best of the rest. So everybody that lost players, okay, we all lost them. Let's poo-poo, don't worry about it. Let's get on with it. How good can we be without them? So our goal was to be the best of the rest. And the second part of the goal was, if we get a chance to play Chaminade, let's beat them. Well, we managed to maintain a number 2 ranking all year, which put us best of the rest. And we ended the year getting our chance to play Chaminade in a replay, and we beat them. You can't ask for more.
One thing that has come into discussion with, certainly the situation with the academy and kids leaving is that you've been a big advocate of the experience. And again, I think this weekend was great. Fans in the stands, 200-300 kids strong.
Yeah.
Certainly today we're going to have a Pepicin where those kids are going to walk out in midcourt and they're going to be state champions. Those are things that are hard to describe to kids unless you feel it. Maybe talk about that aspect of the whole experience.
Well, probably the most moving moment for me this whole weekend was as the final seconds were ticking down in Saturday's championship game, and all the guys on the bench were standing, and I got up to start my walk down to shake Vader's hand and stuff. I could feel, see, sense the excitement, the genuine excitement of every kid on that bench, what it meant to them at that time. You don't replace that, That's something that's embedded in their system, in their heart, in their makeup forever, ever and ever and ever. That's an emotional memory that they will never lose. And we didn't mention anything about, I never mentioned anything about state championships all year until probably like Wednesday and Thursday of the last week. We played Friday. And Wednesday, Thursday, I brought some video in from the 2004 and 5 and 09 championships just to show them the emotional intensity, the degree of emotional intensity that's involved in these games. Because otherwise, you don't know. You really don't know. But when you see the videos and you see the kids celebrate and you see what they have to do to get there and you hear their comments, it's like, yeah, this is special. So, I tried to get them emotionally prepared for that. We had them technically and soccer-wise prepared, but they had to have that emotional edge. And they did. Our whole success, I think, was built on the belief system, that what we did all year, we overcame adversity. And I told them many times during the year at halftime, character's going to get you through this. Your character. You've got fight. You don't quit. You'll hang in there. You'll find a way to win it. And shoo, they did time and again.
And you've been doing this obviously for 42 years. Is there anything that surprised you about this run? I mean, you've had a lot of teams, a lot of different kinds of teams with superstars, teams with many superstars, and teams with just roughneck type of guys. So what surprised you this year about this group?
Well, I would have to say without any doubt, this was the toughest run any team that I've had to make. I don't know that anybody had to go through 6 teams like we did. I think you could make a case that we beat 5 possible state champions. I think DeSmet, Marquette, Vianney, Rockhurst, Chaminade were all potential possible state champions. And we had to beat them all, one after another. Good teams will get through some of that. Better teams will get through a little bit more. But it takes a super special team to finish them all off, to end every one of their seasons. And this group became that special team. And they did it, and I told them in a meeting. I told them twice last week in a meeting. And I said, I want you to understand this comes from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this more than anything else. I wouldn't trade any of you in this room right now for anybody not in this room. And the simple reason is, and I'm not picking on anybody not here, the simple reason is this. You guys in this room have made this a team. Because of your willingness, your unselfishness, everything that you bring has made this a team. And this team, because of every one of you making contributions, is solid to the last guy. And, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat everyone. You got to beat every one of us.
Since you've done this so many years, you've been in the game for 40 plus years as a coach. How does this experience change you as a coach? I mean, a lot of people said, "Boy, Terry, you're as calm as we've ever seen you." Right before that Rockhurst game, it seems like you just really didn't get too caught up in the emotion. But how does it change you as a coach?
Well, this year, I think more than anything else, just reaffirmed that stand your ground. Because there were a lot of obstacles, and it would have been an easy year to just say, well, it just isn't going to work out this year, But because of, I guess, my experience over the years, it's like, you know what, let's give it a go. And I pushed these kids really, really hard, and there were days where they didn't like me at all. But at the end of the year, at the end of the game, as I'm walking to the ranks, shaking their hands while they're waiting to get their medals, I got sincere thanks from all of them, and I know exactly what that thanks meant. It's like, okay, we did it, you did it, we bought into it. You showed us how we did it. Thanks. It was cool. So that, my gosh, that coming together at this point in my career is huge. To be able to bring a team to this point. It's important anytime, but after 42 years, it's like, so what's there to get excited about? Well, there's always something to get excited about. And that's why you show up to play the games,
Again, that's CBC Soccer coach Terry Michler. Again, we mentioned on the Facebook page, you never played in a state championship, but yet you've won 7 of them, got 8 for the school. So great days to be a CBC cadet, huh?
Well, wait a minute. Let me correct you there. We didn't recognize state championships when I played.
Exactly.
Okay, but we won. I was on 3 varsity teams at CBC, and we won 2 district championships, which was the equivalent of a state championship. So, yeah, I like to think I know a little bit about what it takes to be part of those games.
Well, of course, again, we were saying it all in fun, but again, your legacy here as a coach has been something we never forget. So, Terry, thanks much. We'll catch you next time.
Okay.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.